Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wizard Stable podcast on this beautiful Saturday night. This is beautiful here. I'm Alan, your host, along with Mistress B, also your host. And welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. Nothing but loves, hugs, kisses, and high fives, as my son would say. A hug, a kiss, high five. He's got to have that every night. Hug and a kiss and a high five from both of his daddies.
I love that.
And me. It's great. It's amazing. He's an awesome kid. I love him. And matter of fact, he's in here with me tonight. He's playing on his tablet, and he knows hell of a lot more about technology than I do. So that's all gravy, baby. All good. Hello, Debbie. Thank you.
Well, how are you, Ken?
You know what? I've been good. I've been really good. So let me tell you what me and Jackson have been up to.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Watching the hell out of Doctor Who, baby.
That sounds about right.
Binge watching. It does. You sound like Kevin. It sounds about right. Yeah. Hello, Joanne. We've been watching Doctor Who, binge watching Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. Listen, I feel bad. And I feel sorry for people who have never actually sat down and watched Doctor Who.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, well, you need to, baby, because it's so deep and it's so layered. Most people think it's just silliness and sci-fi silliness, right?
Yeah.
It's not sci-fi silliness. It's very deep. It's very amazing. And any Whovian, that's a thing. Whovian. Yeah, of course you do. Any Whovian would know that Doctor Who is serious shit. The theoretical physics alone is amazing, kind of like Star Trek, but with regards to the theoretical physics, but it's amazing shit. I love it. So my favorite doctor was Matt Smith, Doctor number 11, you know?
Okay.
He was just amazing. He was great. He reminds me of myself. But so real quick, before we get into the show, if you're going to watch Doctor Who, start out with David Tennant, number 10, Doctor 10. Then move to 11, then Peter Capaldi, number 12, and then he regenerates into a woman, Jodie Whittaker. All right. I'm still on the fence. It has nothing to do with the fact that she has a vagina, but it's still kind of awkward because Doctor Who is the longest running sci-fi show in history of the world. That's a fact. So he's always been a male. So it's still kind of odd, but I gotta tell you, Jodie Whittaker, she knocks it out of the ballpark, y'all. So anyway, tangent over.
You wouldn't be you without your tangents.
Yes, I'm bad about that. But tonight's guest her name is Saraphine Hurley. Saraphine Hurley. She's a wonderful person. She is an occult historian and a practitioner of the occult arts, of the occult sciences. She's a paranormal researcher, a powerful tarot reader. She's also a collector of relics and haunted items, which is awesome. And she is also, this is my favorite part, y'all. She's a vampire. That bitch be sucking blood, y'all. Or at least drinking it, right, baby?
Yeah.
So nothing but love and respect to Seraphine. I've been on her show. She has a show called Infinite Inquisition. I've been on there twice. It's amazing. Me and her had way too much fun. I love it. Yeah, it was so much fun. It was illegal, wasn't it, Seraphine?
Definitely.
I love your almost dry English type humor. It's great. and you look good, baby. You look good. I love your hair.
Thank
I
you.
love your skin. You look good. You do need to feed tonight, though. Okay.
I do.
Yeah. So anyway, hello everyone. Nothing but love. Welcome to the Wizard's Table. Seraphine. So,
Yo.
I've been wanting to get you on for a while. I know we have talked here and there and there and here. So, I don't even know where to start with you because you're so incredible. You're so amazing. Actually, you know what? You're welcome, honey. Let's start with the vampirism.
Mhm.
What is, because even though I'm Ken Allen and I'm crazy as hell, and I work with gods and demons and angels
Mhm.
and anything that will offer me power, I don't care. I'll work with it. What is modern vampirism? What do you do?
In a nutshell, in a modernist nutshell, it is the manipulation of energy,
Okay,
the
and
taking of and distribution and manipulation of energy.
what forms does that come in? Is it just drinking blood? Because I've heard of energy vampires before. So what kind of other forms does that come in?
That's energy, life force, like pranic vampires that go in public and basically get their jollies getting energy from unsuspecting people or people that know. Sometimes they do get willing energy donors, which is not always hard to get. Clean blood donors, however, are really hard to find.
Especially in today's day and age.
Oh, tell me about it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but baby, you on for yes. Hello, Melvin.
So what kind of vampire are you? Or what would you describe it as?
I am multifaceted, and the reason why is because at one point it was absolutely not done to be participating in blood. I was basically only doing the bloodletting for ritual stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of vampires don't practice bloodletting at all anymore for the reasons that we've actually lost a few because of blood issues. Either rare issues. A lot of us who are may not be vampiric at all, but some who are either sensitive psychically, have really great talents psychically. We all have really strange illnesses, like myself. I have a blood illness where I have a very rare form of anemia where my blood doesn't replicate, doesn't build itself back up. So that's why you see me. I live in Southwest Florida. I'm probably the palest person here.
You know what?
I've been here 12 years.
Yeah. No, you're not really technically. Okay, first of all, I tan really easy because my mother is Sicilian. So,
Right.
and my father is through force Muskogee. But I tan really easy. But when I first met my husband, I worked overnight security and I stayed in the dark all the time. All the time. And the first time I met him, what's that, baby?
You probably got pretty pale.
I did. I got incredibly pale. I looked like something from Anne Rice's novels.
That's not a bad thing.
No, hell no, it wasn't to me. I thought it was great because I love Anne Rice. Of all the authors in the world, who's my favorite? Anne Rice. You know. Oh, Anne Rice.
It's too bad we just lost her.
Yeah, it is terrible. She's amazing. So, hello, Chris Carr, Kristen Johnson, Bigfoot and the Bunny. Bigfoot and the Bunny. I keep saying I'm going to do a jingle for them. Bigfoot and the Bunny. Oh yeah. You know, but if I do a jingle for them, it's going to be more of like the good times. You know, good times. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, when my husband first introduced me to his mother and vice versa, she. Her name is Theta. Oh, what an amazing woman. Nothing but love to her. She is a powerhouse. She stepped out of the car and she said, "What is he, a fucking vampire?"
One can only hope.
Right? and you know, I know my husband and he hoped and he got what he wanted. So, but no, the skin is great. The skin is great. You look beautiful. I love the glasses. All that shit works for you, baby. And being a vampire, you really don't need those glasses, do you, honey?
Not really. I like the aesthetic, though. It makes me look like an occult librarian, I think.
Yeah, you absolutely look
Yeah.
like a 50s demonic pinup, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. You just need an apple in your mouth.
Yes.
A poison apple.
Or a throat to grasp.
Absolutely. I volunteer because that sounds hot.
Y'all bitches is killing me tonight. And I can call you bitches because I'm queer, right?
I mean, you can call me whatever you want for various other reasons.
Because I'm cray cray. Because I'm a cray cray.
Because I'm not going to fight you on it.
You're just gonna stand back and go, okay.
Yeah, she knows my crazy, my type of crazy, and my type of crazy puts Charles Manson to shame. So,
although he hasn't murdered anyone that we know of or are comfortable talking about.
oh no, I've never murdered anybody. So, except
well,
there was
Charlie,
that one time. No, what's that,
yeah,
baby?
that's true.
Charlie technically didn't murder anybody. He just caused people to murder people in his name.
You know, that's crazy because me and my mother, real quick, my mother is in the hospital.
Aww.
She's at a specialty select hospital because she had a stroke 7 months ago.
Oh my.
And she's been in the hospital for 7 months.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's bad. It hurts. It hurts. My mother she's Sicilian, you know, she's amazing. Her spaghetti is phenomenal. It's magic in and of itself. But I was talking to her tonight and she was watching a documentary about Charles Manson, and it's like she was like, well, you know, he was a good looking guy back in his day. It's a shame he was so fucked up. I was like, yeah, mama, you're right.
Yeah.
He was fucked up, you know. So, but yeah, Charles Manson was fucked up. But you're right, Seraphim. Technically he didn't murder anybody. He just said, hey, go kill this one, go kill that one, et cetera, whatever. So yeah.
So,
all right.
Seraphine, how were you introduced to the world of vampirism? Like, I know that that's something that you kind of can't just like one day declare, okay, I'm a vampire. It doesn't work like that. But how were you kind of brought in to the fold?
Great question, baby.
Well, being the strange child that I was, being basically Claire everything in the psychic world, it was kind of a hard road to hoe. So I was already in that little niche of being the oddball out. And I kind of found myself like in the late 90s in the vampire niche. Kind of, it started out, and a lot of people start out this way, and I don't know why it is, but in the S&M clubs.
Oh yeah,
it started out that way with a kinky, freaky thing. Yeah, and it kind of went in more into of a lifestyle thing, and most of my adult life, I've been a vampire. Yeah,
that's awesome. So, how hard is it for you to find blood donors? Is that something that's growing increasingly hard?
It has been hard ever since. And because it's technically a lot of times taboo or frowned upon that you don't do things like that. And I mostly only do blood for ritualistic reasons, for reasons like tonight's moon, things like that. You would do that for. And I do caution. It's like everybody who wants to do bloodletting or blood ritual of any kind to be very, very, very careful, because there's, besides the spiritual aspect of it, it's also the health aspect. Since you're still in this human body, we're kind of fragile. So you got to be really careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's super hard to find people, and people who are donors or have been donors for me and are currently donors are all tested.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got to do that.
It's not rando. It cannot be rando.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That would destroy somebody.
Oh, yeah. And for many reasons, though. When you think about it, people who I get emails at least once or twice a month from randos who want, oh yeah, make me a vampire. It's like, number one, it doesn't work that way. And number two, you know how much it would scar somebody to just take their blood and be all demonic and strange about it? You know, it would probably warp a fair amount of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that would, and that would really taint what it is. Like vampirism in and
Yeah.
of itself isn't something that's evil or demonic, or I know it's frowned upon by most
Hmm.
people, but it's not that. And that's something that we try and shy away from here at the Wizards table. We
Hmm.
want to make everybody aware that, like, just
Yes.
because it's not everybody's cup of tea doesn't mean it's inherently wrong.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Morality
And
is always relative. It's always relative.
hmm I mean, you have people out there that do. I've actually met a few that are pretty dangerous, and one of them is actually no longer with us because they were about the random energy. And you do get some crazy, interesting random energies, but you also get the crazy, interesting diseases as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I
since
mean,
you're still human,
yeah, it's just like
True.
sex, glut the love, get everybody tested kind of thing.
hmm even though it's not very romantic to say, "Hey, can you get a test?"
For your safety.
You don't see that
It's
in any vampire movie, do you?
no, but it's responsible romanticism.
hmm Hey, I don't want you to die, so go get a test.
Perfect. So, what other kind of magic are you into?
Uh, demonic and Enochian.
Yes, honey. Yes,
Yeah.
demonic. Satan save us. Be our savior. We wait for the Black Messiah. We wait for the anti-pope. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Everybody right now, after I just said that, everybody's gonna freak out and stop watching the Wizards table.
No, they're not, because they love y'all. They're not going to do that.
You think so, baby?
No, they love you guys too much.
So, I heard that you're into tarot. I'm also into tarot. I'm probably not as powerful as you are. How did you get started in tarot?
My grandmother actually taught me.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And so
Very,
I've
very
known how
nice.
to read since about 12, 13.
So, is
I
that
started out with a deck of cards.
that's the way to do it, the undercover way?
hmm
That's awesome.
And
So,
so
so was that your introduction into magic was through your grandmother, or had you already been introduced into the magical paranormal world earlier than that?
the magical paranormal world was earlier, like my earliest memory, like between 3 and 4. And then, started to do ritualistic stuff and not knowing about it when I was probably about 10 or 11, learning different things from different entities. And then as you get older, because I didn't have a mentor or anything like that, and you don't understand that certain things try to pull you different ways
Absolutely. That's
until you're
right.
older and realize, oh man, that thing just totally took advantage, you know.
Yeah.
Um, because it's, as some of you know, that when you're doing magic, sometimes you are inhabited by a lot of different things, because that's one of the things that you barter. And so when you're a kid, you don't know that some of that is bad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of those moments where you look back and you go, "Ooh, that could have been bad."
That could
Yeah.
have been all the way bad.
Melvin has a question for you. He wants to know what type of tarot decks call out to you.
One of my favorite decks is actually the Anne Stokes Gothic Tarot.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I really love the artwork for obvious reasons, the Gothic vampire stuff, but also for some reason my Gothic deck really likes to be around other people, and it doesn't matter if you are a regular person or a magical person. It really doesn't have a lot of judgment. I have other decks, however, that are very judgmental and kind of
Yeah.
crappy to use on with other people randomly, because they really will give out some harsh cards.
That for
And
sure. For sure.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys have decks like that.
Mistress B has Mistress B.
They have
Yeah. Okay.
they have their own little
Yeah.
Their
personalities.
little attitudes.
Let's be honest,
Oh, yes.
Mistress B. You got a deck right now. It's an African Dust Boreal deck, and it's not been very kind to you, right?
No, that's not that one. It's my Santeria deck.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it hates me. It will not read for me. Every time I get a message, it basically just says, like, fuck off, we don't like you.
Huh, weird.
So I'm giving it to Ken once I find it again.
No, it's hiding from you.
Yeah, absolutely. We just moved, so everything is hiding from me. But that specifically, it was hiding for months. I found it when we moved, and now it's in a box somewhere, and it will probably never pop up again.
Oh, I bet it will.
We'll see.
When you're not expecting it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'll go, oh, I need to give this to Ken.
Yep. That's what you told me. And I told you I'd take it.
It'll probably love you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
Most likely.
demented. I'm demented, so of course it's going to love me. So,
So, in addition to tarot and energy manipulation and demonic and Enochian magic, like what else are you sort of into? I know you said that you're a paranormal investigator. Can you tell us a little bit
Yes.
about that?
Currently working a couple of cases now, and I go in and I don't use a lot of electronic tools, and the reason why that is, I think that when people have issues and they've had people come in or they've been using tools on their own, it makes them whatever is there worse.
I agree.
Because they feel like it's got to sing and dance for them, and I'm not about that. It's like if you already have a problem with humans chooching around on your ground, let's try to figure out what's going on with it, what's good, what's bad. Either you're going to get out or you're going to learn to live with the humans, one of the two.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what Ken and I always say about those tools, is that they are a form of necromancy, and that they could definitely piss something off if it already doesn't want to be there. So that's really smart. And since you're a clairsentient, clairvoyant, clair everything, I mean, you're your greatest tool.
Yeah, and I can't stress that enough, that even on your own as a basic human, and I'm sorry to say basic, but as your basic roll out the deck human being, that your own feels are your best tool.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. You know, you have an internal compass and an internal sensor, and you don't necessarily need all these tools. That's why I really like dowsing rods, because they're not anything annoying. They work off your own natural energy and the energy around the room. Instead of that, I personally don't like spirit boxes because I don't like repetitive noises. And so the just drives me up a wall.
Yeah, unless you're trying to get something, like if you're at a place where you know there's a lot of stuff and you're not, like, I don't use them like residentially, but if you're in a historic haunt and you're trying to, let's say that we're all there, you guys are there, let's say Bigfoot and the Bunny, our friends are there, we're all trying to find out if they're all going to say the same thing, because Bigfoot and the Bunny, myself and our other friends have done this. That's a good way to find out if they're all saying the same thing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. So how do you approach like a haunting situation? Do you just go in there guns blazing, or do you kind of take a more scaled back approach and like, let's just see what's going on and then see how to deal with it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I do, Mr. Spee. I go in just kind of, respectfully. It's like it could be raising hell in a residential area, and be like, well, I'm here. And just me parking my car in front will cause problems usually. If there's something going on, it's going to happen the moment that I get in the house.
Well, so, exactly. You're one human spirit orb, so.
Yes. And usually I'll hear things, or like this one place I walked into, they thought that they could hide from me. It's like, I can totally see you. I don't know why you're standing off in the corner, but I know that you're there. So you can just come out here and we're going to have a conversation. And it makes me look like I'm a complete wackadoodle. But the thing is, I'm not there to make myself look great. I'm not there to do anything except for try to bridge the gap between humans and spirit, whatever's they are, until we figure out what they're doing, why they're there, if they're going to go on or if they're going to hang out. So I kind of try to take that dressed down option and kind of try to make it more normalized. Like, I want paranormal to be more of a normal thing, because it really is. I mean, from day to day, most people have paranormal in their lives, whether they really realize it or not. It's actually with you, around you. It doesn't matter if you're a staunch atheist, the ghosts still believe in you.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. This world has been populated over several times. You're literally always standing on burial grounds. It's going to come back up. Energy doesn't die or dissipate. It's just placed somewhere else. Just like, I think it's one of Newton's laws. I don't know.
Oh yeah, like people that say, "Oh, well, I got rid of it." I'm like, it's standing right in front of me. How is this house cleared if it's right there? I've seen
Yeah.
these fabulous, fabulous videos of, "Oh hell, you can move on," and blah 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 blah. It's like that makes it great for if you feel like you're Gandalf or something like that. But being the fact that you are not Gandalf, you just not only pissed it off, but now I have to come in here and try to work, because sometimes things don't move on by themselves. Sometimes it's years working with the families and working with everything else. It doesn't just clear itself up overnight a lot of times.
Exactly. I mean, especially in cases where it's been there so long and it's so deeply rooted, you know, you
Oh
need to
yeah.
go in there like a cavity. If you get a surface cavity, sure, you can say, get out of here, go pass on, love and light some sage, call it
Right.
good. But if it's a root canal, you got to go in there, and sometimes you just
Yep.
got to pull the damn tooth and burn the place down.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Exactly.
you know what? I'm Gandalf. I am. I'm the satanic version of Gandalf, bitches.
Gaydolf.
Yeah.
I'm the Gaydolf.
It's Gandalf.
Melvin has another great question. He says, "Do you think your vampiric energy sometimes intimidates spirits or possibly attracts them?"
Great question.
If it attracts them, I take measures to make sure that they don't hang around. Anything that comes with me leaves with me, always, always, always. And sometimes it definitely does intimidate them, because sometimes my spirit is a lot brighter than theirs, even though I'm still in a human form, because I've been working at mine, just much like y'all have been working on yours. I can tell you're not muggles, obviously. So,
Right.
especially Ken over here. But the thing is
I'm
that
definitely not a muggle, baby.
you have this thing that shines behind you, and it kind of does a tell. Like if you've ever played poker, you have this tell about you. It's like when you walk into a room and know that there's more than one spirit in it, or you walk into a house and find out that not only is a spirit, but somebody's been doing witchcraft, and they're like, well, how do you know that? It's like, not only are the spirits telling me that, I
Yep.
can actually tell.
Yeah, it leaves an essence, like when somebody
Yes.
smokes in a house, like the smell of it stays in the walls.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can feel that
exactly.
shit. You can feel that shit. Oh,
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you, because you are a tarot reader, have you ever used the reverse style tarot?
What do you mean, the reverse meanings?
No, baby. I'm going to get that shit off my shelf right now, okay? And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. It's like a first-person version of the tarot.
I've never used that, no, but I use anytime. I know a lot of readers don't like to use reverse meanings, but if a card shows itself the way it is, I do it the way it comes out.
This
I
ain't
think,
reverse. This is first person. You will love this shit.
yeah, you
I'll
will.
have to
You'll
see
really
that.
like them.
I hold on, okay? You guys go ahead and talk. I'll get that shit. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think that reading reversals is really important. I think that it's kind of a misnomer that negative or like reverse readings are something bad. I think, at least in my readings, I've noticed that sometimes the reversals speak higher than the right side up reading.
Yes, I agree. Some of them are scream, like the cards that jump out and can't even wait for you to put them out in the spread you're about to do. Some of them, like, here I am.
They just leap
They
out
want
of
to
your
see this?
hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, no, they need to see this, and I'm like, well, apparently it's this. You know.
Yeah. I always love when I get something that is like especially inherently negative that people are scared of, like death. Death
Yeah.
reversed is one of my favorite things to get in a reading because it's such a huge like fix your shit or
Yeah.
things are gonna pop off.
Oh yeah, exactly. And people don't understand that it's like, it's not an evil or an inherently evil thing that we're telling you this, and the cards are trying to tell you this information, but you kind of need to adjust your crap, whether you want to believe that you're Tinkerbell or not. You got to fix it.
Absolutely.
And for me, like the worst card that you could pull for somebody is probably about the Ten of Swords. It's like people are like, fear of the devil card or fear of the death card, but the Ten of Swords is pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Upside down, sideways, whatever. The Ten of Swords is, if you want to be a herald of anything horrible, the Ten of Swords is not one you want to see in your reading.
Absolutely.
At least for me. Now, Mistress B, is there a card that you would say is worse than that?
Not worse, but I think one that has been really powerful in my readings is the Hermit.
Mm-hmm.
The Hermit has always been along some of my most powerful messages, and I think it's because it's just a card that I really relate with personally. And so I think that the deck that I use in Spirit puts that there specifically because I know backwards and forwards all of the minutia that goes into that card, and I know the feelings that go into that card, so I can explain it a lot better. So it's less that it's innately feared and more that I fear it because I know what it's about.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
All right, ladies.
Like,
it's called
we
Terra.
only fear what we don't know.
Absolutely.
It's called Terra of the New Version. All right. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Oh, nice.
See the magician? You see that? Right?
Yep.
It shows what's going on behind him. Now, that's the front of the deck, obviously.
And where did you get this deck?
I ordered this off Amazon.
Oh, cool. You'll have to send me the link.
I will. Amazon's been my friend lately.
Yeah. I love Amazon.
There's a lot of anyway, it's a great deck. For example, here is the Seven of Wands. Look at the Seven of Wands.
Wow.
I think
You
it
see
could
that?
be really powerful for you, Saraphine, because you already have such intense tarot knowledge that getting it from this opposite perspective will just open new doors for your craft.
Yeah,
oh,
for sure.
Thank you. I think so. That's really cool. I'm always interested in learning something.
I like this deck. I use it a lot, and it puts you there. It puts you there.
Yeah.
When you're using the tarot, you're kind of distant, but this shit puts you there, baby. You don't have a choice. You're there. Anyway.
So, Seraphine, I have a question for you. When you're grounding and warding and protecting, what sort of methods do you use? I'm always interested to find out what people use because everybody has such different gifts and different skill sets. And I feel like you and I have similar energies. So I'd really love to learn what you do and what I can kind of incorporate into my practice.
Like some of the things that I'm doing right now, because I've had a lot of paranormal stuff going on that I'm working with. I do a lot of cleansing by flame. Like if you take your, whatever you choose, like I use my Palo Santo and do my hands and my, my core area, try to cleanse my spirit. Like tonight is the pink moon. I'm going to be recharging a bunch of stuff. I've already had stuff setting out to be cleansed. I try to ground myself and try to burst my energy out, which probably sounds super bizarre, but I try to do kind of like a solar flare personally to try to burn out the bad and bring in the good and try to burn off all the negative. Because it gets really convoluted when you're around people who can be so negative, even if they're not trying to be. It's just humans can be so negative, just plain flat out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's hard to be around.
Yeah.
Smoke, grounding in smoke. Fire is always good. I do 2 different ways of fire, like going out and having a huge bonfire and doing a purge that way. Grounding in nature. But if I don't have anything at all, I always ground over by the water, like going over to the ocean or the river and grounding there and recentering myself.
Absolutely. I like a lot of that. And I think that a lot of that is stuff that I've incorporated into my practice already. I especially like your bit about the light. That's something that I do. And I've noticed that I'm not confident in my light enough yet. So I can't just send it out like a solar flare like you can. I have to envision it enveloping me either from head down if I'm anxious or feet down if I'm depressed or feet up, excuse me. So it doesn't sound convoluted at all. Honestly, I think that it's really, really impressive.
No, thank you. And it's really hard. And it's like right now, even though we're out of quarantine and all of that, it's still super easy to get depressed because everybody and everything can be so negative. and trying to keep a watch on that, since we're all practitioner peeps in here.
Yeah.
That you want to try to ground as much as possible, even if you don't think you need it. Cleanse your area, cleanse yourself, cleanse your tools, anything that you use, be it crystals or a knife or anything special, even if it's your headphones, anything that's attached.
Absolutely.
Make sure that you're
100%.
cleansing everything that you touch or everything that you spiritually touch.
100%. Especially with regards to myself, because I work a lot. I do a lot of work with the demonic, you know, and people think because I work with the demonic that I worship Satan. Okay, that's fine. Y'all can believe what you want.
It's not a prereq.
No, no, it's not. Thank you. It's not. You know, I don't worship Satan. I don't have anything against the old man. You know, I just don't. I just don't worship him. You know, as a sorcerer, I don't worship anything really. That's the bottom line. But they think because you work with demons on any level whatsoever that you automatically worship Satan. Okay, meh, whatever. But when you're exposed as much as I have been exposed, and I've been practicing since I was 11 years old in one way or another. I'm not afraid of my age. I'm 46. I'm pushing 50, you know.
I'm 49, so.
All right. Well, my husband just turned 50 and he's a fucking beautiful man. He's a beautiful man.
You're both gorgeous, so there you go.
Yeah, okay. You ain't never lie. You ain't never lie. He's a beautiful man. To be 50, you would never guess that my husband is 50. You would think 34, 35, whatever. But and he's a practitioner too. Although his way of practicing is a little more on the light side than mine. He knows what I do. He knows what I do. But he'll say, "All right, baby, I'm going to the casino. Do your thing." Well, you know who I'm going to invoke, right? You know what I'm going to do? I don't care what you do. Just give me that money.
Right.
Bune, right?
Exactly. Bune. Yes. 100%. 100%. Thank you, Bune.
See, I'm learning.
Yeah, you are. You are. Bune for sure. And it's like, just because you work with these energies doesn't mean you worship Satan. But
no.
What I'm getting at is when you're exposed to these energies, it doesn't matter if it's demonic or archangelic or angelic in general. This shit takes a toll.
It does.
Because we are mortals, unfortunately, stuck in a mortal body. It takes a toll. For now, exactly. Thank you. Being stuck in a mortal body, being exposed to angelic, because that's dangerous. Demonic, because that's dangerous. Being exposed to these energies takes its toll on you physically, spiritually, and mentally. And it's hard. It's hard. And I've been exposed to this shit since I was 11 years old. I'm 46 again. And it's hard. It's very difficult. People ask me sometimes, where should I start in the occult? And I say, bitch, don't. Don't do it. Don't do it, baby. Don't do it. You know, I didn't have a choice. It was predestined for me. I had to do it. And the thing is, I have to practice. I have to practice. I have to engage with these entities or it will kill me not to. Does that make sense to you, Saraphine?
Absolutely, because I'm the same way, actually. And as odd as that probably sounds to most people who are non-practitioners, is that you are actually chosen and delegated to do certain things within your lifetime. And if you're pulled to a certain practice, it's not because it's evil and something is evil trying at you to do it. It's because you are supposed to be doing it. It's because you continue to do it throughout your life. And that's why I know that I'm in one of my final, if not the final cycle as a human being. And I have to do as many of the things. I want to ride all the rides and do all the stuff. That's what I want. I'm here to do it. And if I can help some humans along as I do it, then cool. And if they don't want my help, then cool too.
Right.
I'm just here to do it.
I think practicing magic is really similar to painting your house or doing some artwork. Either you work in light colors, you work in dark colors, doesn't matter. The house get painted. It turns out beautiful at the end of the day, even if it's a little bit of revenge. If it's a black living room, we'll we'll let it slide. But no matter what's going to happen is you're going to get paint all over you, and you have to wash
Mhm.
that off. You have to get it off you, and you can have, if you continue to paint and you continue to create and you continue to practice, you're just going to get more and more paint on you, and eventually you're going to be stuck.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That you got to watch it, because some of them would love to see you fall,
Sure.
and that's part of the game.
I've got so many enemies out there. So many enemies. Look, here's a sad truth. I have more enemies in the occult community than I do in the paranormal community. The paranormal community is the ones who back me up. The occult community hates me. They hate me.
Well, I love you, so
I know you do, baby.
if you need help, let me know.
Oh yeah, we'll tear them asunder, right?
Oh God, they're gonna wish they weren't born.
We've got a couple questions. Bigfoot and the Bunny asks, do you think one's own blood is an attraction to the deceased, and why?
Ken, do you want to take that, or you want me to?
No, go ahead, baby. You're the guest. Go ahead.
It depends. It really depends on who the decedent is. If they're actually a decedent, or they're somebody pretending, or something pretending to be a decedent. Some of the decedents have already crossed over, and some of them are actually agents of what I like to call other entities, because they're not, let's say that they're not a demon, but they're not, let's say that they work for them, but they're not a demon. They're a spirit that was human at one point, but they're not a god, any shape, way, or form. The blood helps bring us closer to some things, and some things will actually maraud as demons. That's why it's really important that you not only know what you're doing, but know how to get rid of things that aren't actually what you were looking for in the first place, because otherwise it can cause a big problem.
Yeah, that's why it's partially so dangerous to use Ouija boards if you don't know what you're doing, because somebody will say, yeah, I'm grandma, and the next thing you know, you've got a major demon on the loose in your house.
But if you're doing deity work and things like that, the reason why I would ritualistically use blood in some way is because I've already bartered with that entity, and that's exactly what they have asked for. That's on their list of things that is a need to, have to kind of situation. Most human entities will not ask for that unless they're trying to masquerade. And when I find out that it's not a deity that I'm actually working with, and it's a human, they're in trouble, because I will call the deity to bring them out, and they are screwed, basically. They either become mine or they go away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the talk to your manager of the spirit world.
Yeah. See, we got a lot in common. We got a lot in common in that way, Saraphine, because I'll call them bitches out too. Yeah, 100%. Yes, honey. Yes, baby.
Okay, we've got one more question from Melvin that I really, really like. He says,
hey, Melvin. Number love, baby.
Or I guess it's not a question, it's a comment, but I really, really like it, and I think that we should mention it. He says, sometimes people take this as an ego thing, but I worship myself, meaning I try to feed power into myself and not give it away to various things, whether it's human, deity, or something else altogether. And that's definitely what we subscribe to on the Wizards channel. You are the magic in your magic. You can work with whoever or whatever you want, but just know that you're the power.
That's right. On the Wizard's table, you are your own god. You worship yourself. You are your own god. Now, that's a big deal in Satanism. Again, I'm not a Satanist, and if I was, I would tell y'all I'm not ashamed of nothing. I don't give a damn. But yes, worship thine-self. Be true to your own self, etc., etc. The whole Shakespeare bullshit or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But yes, 100%. Seraphine, you want to expand on that, baby?
Yeah, and if you want to worship other deities in the middle of that, feel absolutely free. They'll let you know. But the thing is, when you are building yourself up and building unto your own power, you become in and among the most powerful thing that you are putting out there. So less things can screw with you, let's say. So less things will come to screw with you if you have your crap together. So if you know what you're doing and you build yourself all the way up and your energy is so high, you're going to basically be staving off all of those, what I like to call boogers, that are going to try to latch on and suck out your energy during one of your rituals or one of the things that you want to do, let's say.
Absolutely. Everything is all about vibrations. If you vibrate higher and you vibrate louder, none of those little pesky bleeps or bleps or little sounds are going to get to you.
Well, don't you think that Nikola Tesla was a type of wizard? You know,
Yes.
we call our show The Wizard's Table. I don't refer to myself as a wizard. I am a sorcerer. But, and I'll be honest with you, and everyone watching, I don't refer to myself as a wizard because everyone wants to make fun of it, and Harry Potter this and Harry Potter that, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, essentially, I am a wizard. I am a sorcerer. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. But don't you think it's the same thing at the end of the day, right, Seraphine? We're all doing the same shit, right, baby?
Yep.
Practitioners of the occult, I mean.
Yes, we are all basically doing the same thing, and the basis of it is what Melvin said is the base needs to be you. It needs to be about you. The only reason that you're doing magic isn't just that it's entirely selfish, but by the way, when you're a human, hate to tell you, but everything, including breathing, is a selfish act.
Yes.
So
100%.
Don't give me your whatever. Everything that you do, if you woke up groundside today, every action that you perform is holy.
And that's exactly, and that's why I believe in the philosophy. Shit, I dropped my phone. Anyway, that's why I believe in the philosophy of the Satanic Bible, because what you just said, Seraphine, most people don't know. People that have never read the Satanic Bible, they don't know. They think it's full of blasphemies and all kind of crazy shit. They don't understand that it's all about self-empowerment.
Yes.
Becoming your own God.
Yeah, that's also the reason why I don't believe that curses are inherently evil. I think that everything has a balance, and sometimes you have to make it move. You can't just wait for it to go on its own. You have to decide whether it's time for it to move. And if you're justified, your curse is going to work, and it'll work well.
Yes. And I've always said that, more or less. But you said it so much better than me. It's like the karma, the whole karma thing. Everybody's on the karma wagon, you know, the karma buzz. Well, karma this, and oh my goodness gracious me, and oh, you know, whatever. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I was really excited about this, the whole karma thing. And I was watching, actually, of all things, a TikTok thing, because I love to watch the witch offs. It's so funny. I find it really hilarious and stupid. But at the same time, I mean, so entertaining. But when they're talking about instant karma, there is actually, I'm sorry, no such thing as instant karma. That's like saying, if I clap my hands 3 times, Tinkerbell isn't going to die. Well,
yes.
Tinkerbell's already in print, and she's already alive on VHS somewhere, and then on DVD and Blu-ray. Okay, so that's the reality of that. However, your karmic coins don't roll over for a while, so it's not going to be now. It's not going to be 6 months from now. But if you're a jackass human, you will eventually pay for it, but it's not going to be now. And nobody's going to see you trip and fall on your face on the sidewalk. If you want to go all out and be a huge, excuse my language, dick to people, that's your prerogative. And somebody might gun you down for it, and that'll be the karma. But spiritual karma doesn't happen for quite a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe in karma so much so that I believe that everything has a balance, as I was saying. And I think that humans can take it upon themselves to be agents of karma, to get that that karma in your lifetime, whether it be positive, negative, or indifferent. Like, I think that as occultists and as practitioners, we have the power to bring that karma into this life cycle rather than letting it play out along somebody's spiritual timeline. We're the agents that are going to say, no, we want the instant karma, and I want to watch them fall.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, unless you want to stick a broom handle out while they're walking actively and see it happen then, which is frowned upon, and you can go to jail for first-degree assault, by all means. But it's going to be a while until you see somebody's actual karma play out. Now, however, it's like practitioners like ourselves that, you know, everything is relative. It's like somebody might think that we're doing evil, but you know what? It's actually not. And there's umpteen reasons, which I had a conversation earlier about why certain things are not evil. Even war atrocities, some of them are actually not evil. And here is why. But that's a whole nother show. But the thing is that everything that you do is relative.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Black or
100%. And I've always said that it's all relative. Everything is relative. Everything is relative.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Saraphine Hurley.
So I want to talk a little bit about your haunted items collection.
Mm-hmm.
How did that start? Did you find something? Did something seek you out? What happened?
It started with a Ouija board. You know, a
As
lot of
one
people.
does.
Yes, and actually, the Ouija board that I have all locked up is actually from Connecticut, of all places, where haunted Ouija boards come from.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the weird, wicked stuff actually comes from northeastern United States. The worst thing I have from the South is actually from Texas. It's not actually from like Louisiana, where you would think. It's actually
Yeah.
an item from Texas. But the witch board that I have is actually from the late 1890s. And it was supposedly used and blah, blah, blah. You know, if you agree with the things that were told to me, because, you know, a million stories get told about a thing, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they get passed on and passed on. Well, this witch board got, some kid bought it at a church yard sale.
What yard sale, baby?
A church yard sale.
Okay.
Oh
Yes.
dear.
I love church yard sales. I have a haunted doll from one. So the church yard sale went on. The kid got it. It didn't have the planchette, so they made a planchette. And
Nice.
so they played with it. And I guess a whole bunch of stuff happened. I mean, you have to store this thing with the planchette away from it. Otherwise, it likes to move around and make tappy noises. And it's like, no, we don't do that. But the reason why I kept it is because if you destroy certain things, they will come back anyways. Like
Absolutely.
I actually consecrated. If you have a quick moment, I had a monkey skull, and I don't know if you've ever seen one before, but it's like a macaque skull that's actually bound in rattan. It's a witch item that was actually gifted to me by an ex, and I felt so bad from the time that I got that macaque skull, because I don't know if you guys know this, but they actually kill those creatures with fire. They're tortured to death.
No, I didn't know
are
that.
literally tortured to death.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that poor thing, and it's all blackened and everything. And so I decided to consecrate it and bury it. My daughter and I. My daughter was 11 at the time, and because I was leaving for Virginia, and I had no use for it. I didn't want to bring it with me because it made me sad every time I looked at it. And I'm like, all right, so let's bury you, make you quiet, whatever. And then 3 years go by, and I'm gonna move, and I was gonna move to Louisiana and New Orleans because, you know, as you do to go move in with friends, because I'm a vampire, you might as well live in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Well, Katrina happened, and I couldn't move. And so I moved in with my mother, who had just lost her job. And my daughter's helping me move things around in the extra room or whatever, because my mom lost her job and I'm going to live there because I'm going to help with her rent and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm moving stuff around, and my daughter hands me this black scarf. And I'm like, oh, cool. I thought I lost that. Well, inside the black scarf, from a bottom drawer where I've never been in the drawer before because I'd never seen these dresser drawers in my life. My mother had gotten them 3 years ago or whatever. Was the monkey skull inside it, covered in dirt. And my daughter, when she looked at it, she went completely pale, and she's like, well, what happened with that? I'm like, well, I guess it's back. And I came out with my mom. I'm like, did you do anything with this? And she's like, I don't even know what that is. Do I want to know? Okay, it's me here. She's like, do I want to know what that is? I'm like, no, you probably don't want to know what this is. No. But after that, I actually sent it to another practitioner friend of mine who gave me a good home, because it just, I don't know, it just made me too sad. And I said my goodbyes and everything to it, but it came back to me. And that's why you don't destroy haunted objects, because they do find a way to get back to you.
Yeah, that's one of the things in the movie that definitely isn't exaggerated. You know, every time they try to throw away the Annabelle doll, or when you try and just toss the Ouija board in the garbage, or even if you burn things occasionally, if you don't have enough power to do it.
Yep.
Yes.
They'll come back.
Yeah, I had a paranormal team, a fairly well-known paranormal team, contact me and say, Ken Allen. You know, what should we do with it? And it was a Ouija board. It was, in fact, a Ouija board. You know, What should we do with it? Should we burn? No, don't burn that shit, y'all. Okay, do not burn it. And I gave them various techniques using herbs such as rue, hyssop, bay leaf, mixed with sage and cedar. Because sage alone ain't enough. So many investigators want to use sage. Sage.
I know.
Sage is not enough. I know it's almost nauseating. Sage is not enough.
Making a turkey.
I mean, my husband's cooked with sage before, but sage is not enough. You got to use a lot more than that. And they were like, well, should we? No, don't burn that shit. Okay. Do not burn it. You need to take it to the west. If you have the opportunity, if you have the way, take it to a crossroads, bury it in the center of that crossroads, smudge that shit with a mixture of, listen to me, y'all, because I know what I'm talking about, because I come from a long line of folk magic practices. Rue, bay leaf, sage, cedar, and hyssop. All right. And then douse that shit in what's called Florida water. Florida water is a type of cologne, but you need to bless that shit prior to. All right. However whether it's a sign of the cross or the pentagram, it doesn't matter. Bless that shit, whatever your faith base is. Bury that shit in the west. If you have the means and the opportunity, bury that shit at the center of a crossroads, which would be preferable. That's boom, done. Put those herbs on top of that shit, smudge that shit, et cetera, et cetera. And when you leave, you take a different way back than the way you came. But no matter what, you don't look back. You do not look back. Exactly.
Just walk away.
Walk away. Thank you.
They love it when you look back. Don't do it.
Exactly. They love it when you look back. You don't look back. You walk away. You take that shit to that crossroads, or you bury it as far away from your property, not on your property, from your property as you can in the west, because the west is the direction of death and diminishing and decreasing. We all know that. We're all occultists here. We all know that shit. Take a different way back home than the way you came.
So we can't follow you home.
No, exactly. Don't look in the rearview mirror. Don't do none of that shit, because even look in the rearview mirror, that's a problem, because we're talking about mirrors now. Okay.
Yep.
That's a whole nother show in and of itself. Right?
Yeah.
Mirrors, you know, I use black mirrors all the time, but anyway, leave that shit, bury that shit. Let the earth, let the gods and goddesses of the earth, the spirits of the earth, take that shit and absorb it. And that's what the earth basically digests that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But everybody wants to burn the Ouija board. Let's burn the Ouija board, y'all. No.
Don't do that.
You dumbass. No, you don't burn the Ouija board. Anyway, sorry.
So what is the most haunted item you own?
Yeah, good question.
I have several. It's hard to say. I've got the Naughty Dolly, which is another one that actually showed up at church when I was working at a church. She showed up at the first time a year before I actually took her. Somebody wanted me to take her, and I said, hell no. Like, you take that doll away. I don't want her. Go away. Well, she was full formed and everything when they wanted to give her to me before. And then a year later, they came back and said, will you please take this doll? I'm like, you are just so full of crap. Just whatever. I don't want to take her. Whatever. I need to go back to work. Well, I came out and there was the doll in her chair on top of my car with half of her face cracked down her cheek.
Oh no.
And I'm like, crap. I guess I have to take you home. Well, she doesn't like to be with the other dolls. She tends to, I don't know. She likes to pick on people who are non-magical and make them feel like there's a demon around, or make them think like they're going crazy. You'll hear a lot of whispering, things like that. And there's a spirit that's attached to her, and she's like right there. I have to tell you that when I was working with Laura Lee Potvin on Dripping the Void show, Laura Lee identified her as the matron because I used to walk out of my hallway when I first got this apartment, and you know how you take a shower and go down the hallway or whatever, get a cup of coffee. Well, the spirit would hang out outside the door and like try to lunge at me, like that's gonna scare me. Well, she'd show up as a younger girl, probably a little younger than you, Mrs. Speech, and with red hair, like a white t-shirt and jeans, is how I would originally see her. Laura Lee saw her as an elderly woman, and I'm like, I haven't seen that part yet. And then I don't know, a few months went by, and then I saw her in the middle of the night as the matron. And ever since, I still see her as the woman, but the matron is mean. She's very, very mean-spirited. She likes to throw things, make people feel very uncomfortable, especially if you use my bathroom over here. It's attached to the office that has all the weird crap in it. Yeah. A lot of people, I have a lot of friends that will not come in my house because they're afraid of what's in the office.
I mean, that makes sense. You've got some powerful stuff in there.
I mean, I can show you this right here because it's right in front of me.
Yeah,
Here.
please do. Please do.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
It's got 7 angels around it, and I decided to rehome it and put my crystal ball on the top of it because it just seemed like that was a cool thing to do.
You know, speaking of, let me get your perspective. You know, I was on your show again. I want to mention your show, Infinite Inquisition, which is a damn good show. I was on there twice. We had so much fun. It was great. You know,
we always have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we had so much fun. And then, of course, we had Chris Carr and Kristen Johnson from Bigfoot and the Bunny. We come on there. And we were talking about, you remember we were talking about wash your ass. Remember that? Wash your ass. Anyway, real quick, angels. I've been in situations before, and I know I mentioned this on your show. I mentioned it on Bigfoot and the Bunny. And, of course, I mentioned it on here, where I've had to banish angels because they were being butt-butts.
Yes.
And I want your take on that. You agree with me, yes?
Yes. And I actually had the same argument again today with somebody that I know.
Really?
And, love very much. But at the same time, we just have to agree to disagree because he believes angels will help anybody. I'm like, I know more angels that would rather do mischievous things because they owe you nothing.
Exactly.
Angels are not fluffy, white wearing, hangy outy, want to do mystical, magical, wishy things for you. They want things just like demons do. They do not want to do anything for you unless it serves them. I've actually, my last angel interaction almost got me deaf in my right ear.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, see, everything has its own selfish agenda. But go ahead with the deaf in the ear, if you're cool with that.
Yeah. When you are trying to do Enochian magic and everything is going right, even on a good day, that there's always what I like to call like angel sign or demon sign. You get this really weird high pitch thing. I don't know, Ken, if you've heard it.
I have. It starts in the inside
of your brain.
Yes.
But it comes out here. Well, it started to feel like it was breaking my eardrum, and actually, I have problems with my ear even now. But it was so painful that it was Uriel.
Okay.
Who I was trying to get, and was just I'm sorry, I have to say, was a bitch because it's like you fluffy angel, happy, godly, whatever. They owe you nothing. They want nothing to do with you. Do angels do miracles? No. Deities do miracles.
That's right.
Angels are messengers, just like demons are. That's what demon even means. It means messenger. They have the same powers.
Yes, demon means messenger or replete with wisdom.
Yes. So,
and people don't know that. People don't understand that. They think it's all, burning and pitchforks and all that bullshit.
Nope.
No, demons can do great, miraculous things for a person, depending on how you meet them.
Yes. And all of that, like even with angels, just like demons, they want you to barter with them.
That's right.
Because they owe you nothing and they know it. It's like, well, being an angel kind of stinks. Well, can I inhabit you for a while? Or can I do this or that? That's usually what they ask. They want to be part of you for a little bit, which can be harmful. I don't recommend it unless you can handle it. and can handle the situation, because if they take off and go weekend at Bernie's, you're screwed.
Well, what would you say to these people that are all love and light and fluff bunny and angels, angels, angels? Because I know, obviously, and I know Mistress B knows, because she is an occult practitioner, and whether she admits it or not, she's very fucking powerful. Mistress B knows her shit, but
I believe it.
She does, and I've worked with demons. I still work with demons. I trust them to a degree, certain ones, or a boss being my patron. And
like
angels.
Astaroth is mine.
Okay, amen. Hey, baby. But angels are deafeningly dangerous. People don't understand that. They think that angels are just nothing but beauty and love and light, and it's all good. It's all gravy. But that's bullshit.
It's beautiful bullshit.
Beautiful bullshit.
Everybody wants to believe the white fluffy bunny is harmless until it attacks you.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Bunnies bite too. They'll pee on you, scratch you, mess you up.
That's why I have those red eyes. They're evil.
Right?
Well, and a lot of here's another thing, especially in the Middle Ages, a lot of your dark witches. It wasn't the cat, it wasn't the toad, it was the hare.
Yes.
It was the hare.
Yes.
It was the hare that was the familiar, or it was the hare that they would transform into to go to the great Sabbath of Satan.
Yeah, or the crow or the rook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the toad. It wasn't a kitty or.
Bottom line is trust yourself. Do not put your trust or your faith into a demon. Do not put your trust or your faith into an angel. Put your trust and your faith into yourself. And this is coming from three professional occultists.
Yes.
3 professional occultists. Put your faith in yourself.
Strengthen yourself and do not lean on other things, other beings. They always have other agendas. And it's like, even like I had this conversation too today. It's like, once you realize as an adult that everything is on a barter system, including your relationships, you're going to be cool with life. If you understand that everything is a flow, an ebb, and a give and a take, then even in the spiritual realm, it is the same thing. If you want something, you need to be willing to give something. And, like somebody telling me like a month or two ago, oh, my child's possessed. I'm like, cool, let me see. And they're like, oh my God. And like, you know what? You see how high the lottery is? It's more likely that you're going to buy one lottery ticket with $1 and win that lottery than the fact that you have an actual demon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you. They don't want anything to do with you. You're not fun. You're not fun at all. Humans suck.
Yeah. I mean, most humans do suck. That's a fact. And they smell bad.
Yeah. They smell bad. They suck. I mean, you're basically rotting. You're waiting to die. So
that's right.
Why are you attractive?
You're immortal.
The blood factor. It's like, yes, when we offer blood, it's something that they like. It's something that they kind of get off on, because there's an air of superiority to the giving of something that belongs to you. Is this something that is so dear, your life's blood?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why poppets are so powerful. If you use items from that person, it's literally a spiritual and physical tie to that person. You're taking something that belongs to them and you're using them with your energy, which is so powerful. So you're infusing both of those energies in there, and you can make people do all sorts of things.
So let's explain to the audience real quick what a poppet is. A poppet is more often misconstrued as what's commonly called a voodoo doll.
But there really is no voodoo doll. Poppets have been used in all sorts of practices all over the world, and basically what it is it's a little doll that you create with items from that person. It could be
personal
hair,
concerns,
nails, it could be blood, it could be anything that you can get from that person. And you can use other things as semi-poppets too. Like I once had somebody lick a candle.
Yep. Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did. And so it's just taking items from that person and using them in a spiritual way. And it's called a poppet because it resembles a little person. It's like a little doll that you create.
Sympathetic magic.
Absolutely. And so you can target anything you need from this poppet. And it's easier to use a poppet because, okay, if you're using it in a pleasant way, if somebody has a headache, you stick a pin into the head and their
That's
headache
right.
is gone. Or vice versa. If somebody screwed you over and you want their dick to fall off, you cut it off.
Yeah. You don't stick a pin in the dick. You cut that shit off with anger and hatred.
Yes.
Absolutely. And you sew it up with a rusty needle.
Yep.
Hey,
And then pee on it.
bravo.
Yep.
Not that I would know.
Yeah, and urine. Yeah, no, of course not. But you're okay. Yeah, all right. Thank you. Amen. Hey, urine is a big deal, and a lot of this sympathetic magic, folk magic, etc., hoodoo, European folk magic.
I think it's because it's coming from a person, so it's automatically that tied to that person. But also, it's something that's so disrespectful. It's literally all of the toxins that you're releasing into your body, out of your body, in this like hot, disrespectful stream. And so it says "fuck you" so much more powerfully than almost anything else. I mean, spit is cool, but you produce so many gallons of spit and it's just meant to lubricate and clean your mouth that it's just kind of like spraying it with Windex. But pee is like bleach and fire and anger, disgust, just kind of rolled into one.
That's right. And you can take that fucking doll and you can hold that doll in your hand and you can push your hatred and your contempt into that doll, and you can take that head of that doll and you can bite that shit off and you can spit that shit out with nothing but hatred and contempt, and you will just, that act alone is enough to curse that person and to fuck their world up, baby.
Absolutely. I think
you
Melvin
can go one better.
Oh, what's one better?
One better is after you do all the hosing of the pee for like a week, and then you slit the mouth open and stuff it full of poo, and then sew it back up and then bury it, and then pee on it some more.
Yeah,
you're totally screwed.
See, we never got into the feces aspect. Thank you, Saraphine.
We're all about the shit here.
We are the shit, y'all.
We are the shit.
Eat shit. Melvin has a really great question. It's not a dumb question, Melvin, but he says, dumb question, but are poppets and effigies one and the same? And they can be and they can't be. It's different if you're using like an effigy of like a deity or something like that. That's something that is tying something spiritual to something physical. Poppets are more tying something physical to something spiritual, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit in reverse, but you can use the words semi-interchangeably as long as you know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, you're amazing, Mistress B. You're so, I mean, you can convey that shit so much better than I can.
You make it sound so sweet and innocent. I love it.
Yeah, but that bitch ain't
if
innocent.
I say it, then it's evil.
No. When Saraphine says it, it's 100% evil because Seraphine's evil. If I say it, it's 100% evil because I'm evil. When Mistress B says it, it's innocent, but that bitch is evil too.
It's just my delivery.
We're all three of us. We're all three evil. We are the unholy trinity tonight. So
Mistress B is just the cutest one.
I don't know. You and those glasses, I think you've got me past.
We are the unholy trinity. So
I love it. Beautiful.
Yeah. So there you go. Poppets and effigies and hoodoo folk magic and sympathetic magic and vampirism and all that shit, baby. We do it all. We do not I don't discriminate against
this is your
gods.
one-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly. I don't discriminate against gods, angels, and demons, human spirits, the jinn, etc. I don't discriminate. If you got something for me, baby, let's work together. We'll make a pact of some sort. And a lot of people think that making a pact is all about soul selling. That's bullshit. That was created by the Spanish Inquisition, Middle Ages, etc. Nobody sold their soul to anything.
I think it's kind of the way the same people move throughout life. If you find a person that's willing to work with anybody no matter what and find what is not necessarily good, but what's useful in that situation. Yeah, they might seem like kind of a dick, but they're going to get what they want done, and they're going to get it done faster because they're willing to work with anybody no matter what they look like on the outside or how people perceive that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like Anne Marie Young says, evil is in the eyes of the beholder. Of course,
True.
100%. It's all about perspective. It's all relative, as all three of us, we know, we believe.
Yeah.
And why do we know and we believe? Because we're practitioners.
Because
We engage
know
with.
that we know.
We know that we know because exactly, Seraphine. We know that we know because we engage with demons. We engage with angels. We engage with the dead. We're not just paranormal investigators. We are the paranormal.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You're walking,
Bringing the
breathing paranormal.
We are the
the weird
paranormal.
to you since 1994.
Okay, you'll never lie. Seraphine, it's been awesome, baby.
Well, thank you for having me on. Nice to meet you, Mr. Speed, finally.
Nice to meet you as well. We'll definitely have to connect after this. I'd love to pick your brain and get a reading from you.
Oh, definitely. Anytime.
Awesome. Well, everybody, if you have any more questions, now's your time to ask them. But I think that we are going to get out of here.
Yeah, let's give a few minutes just to see if there are any questions come up. And while we're waiting on that, real quick, I am going to Rhode Island next month, y'all.
Oh, cool.
I am. I'm going to the Conjuring House.
Oh, nice. I wanted to go there.
I'm going to the Conjuring House, and it's going to be a pretty intense investigation. And I'm going to be leading a seance, among other things.
Awesome.
It's going to be pretty big production. But while I'm there, guess what? Me and Chris and Kristen, we're going out to eat, y'all.
I love it.
And them bitches are going to take me to eat. I want some
Have a
chowder.
drink for me.
I want some chowder.
Give him a big
Get
hug
some
for
lobster.
me.
Some lobster. You know, I'm not a big lobster fan. People may think I'm crazy, but I'm not a big lobster fan. I mean, lobster's good, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a big fan of it. But I don't know. Just being in their company will be great.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ken, you're also not a big fan of pussy, so I don't really trust your judgment.
That's awesome.
That's 100% true. All right. Nothing but love and blessings to you, Seraphine. Thank you for coming on. We love you,
Well,
girl.
thanks for
You look
having me.
great. I love your skin, the paleness. Drink that blood, bitch. Mistress B, I love you. Your hair looks great. Reminds me of River Song, except it's not blonde. If you don't know who River Song is, look her up. That bitch is on Doctor Who. Nothing but love and blessings from the Wizard's Table podcast. I am Ken Allen. Mistress B, Seraphine. Hail Satan and praise God. Ooh.
Yes.
Night, y'all.
Good night.
Night.